Texting 587-609, or welcome back to the mid-sack here on a Tip 'em Back or Toke 'em, wherever you want to do, whatever your poison is, Boys and Girls Tuesday. I am the highly questionable one, RJ Miliacci. The redoubtable one is absent tonight. We are missing him and his banter and his scowl and his laugh and everything in between, but hopefully the redoubtable one himself will be back tomorrow night. And this one, here you go, Tommy. The good doctor misses you too. Main event segment 3, all things NHL. That's right, you heard it here first. NHL hockey. We don't do many of these, but we're going to do it tonight because the Boston Bruins tribute is long overdue. And again, this doesn't guarantee nothing. In fact, those of you hockey buffs out there, Jim Billy, I know you're watching, or you will be when you see this title. The last 9 teams to win the President's Cup, which is given to the team with the best record in hockey, have failed to hoist Lord Stanley's Cup. So the odds are not in the Bruins' favor here, okay? But here's what has happened. As of tonight, with a 5-2 drubbing of the hapless, hopeless, listless Washington Capitals, who will just get out of here and go to the golf course. The biggest, they're like the Atlanta Braves of hockey. All the regular season President's Cups they hoisted never did. They did get 1 Stanley Cup out of it. They should have probably got 3 or 4, but they didn't because that's what the NHL is, and that's why the NHL playoffs are the best thing going, and that's from a football, basketball guy telling you that. There's nothing like the NHL playoffs. Anybody can win it, and I mean anybody, and the history backs that up. So, but tonight, the Boston Bruins and Patrice Bergeron, my right there he is right there, who may be the best two-way forward in the history of the NHL. He's got 5 Selke Awards, which is a record. He had an assist tonight. The Bruins now with 130, is it 133 points, boys and girls? I believe it's 133 points. They have set in the past 48 or 72 hours, yes, the Boston Bruins have now, in a single season, the most wins in NHL history. 62 was the record, which was shared by Detroit and Tampa. Detroit 95-96, Tampa back in 2018 or 17, I think. The Bruins have now doubled that, so they've gone 2 over. 64 wins is the new standard of excellence. It's set by the Boston Bruins, one of the original 6. And then tonight, with 133 points, they passed the Montreal Canadiens. Doesn't that bring a smile to your face, Boston Bruins fans? The Montreal Canadiens, who held that record forever at 132 points, no longer it belongs to the Boston Bruins with 133 points, and there's still another game to go. So they have locked up everything to lock up. Hopefully they play nobody in the last game. It doesn't matter. They've done everything they have to do. But now they've got to win the Stanley Cup. And they will be a prohibitive favorite. Because if you know your history, even recent history, you know that last year the Colorado Avalanche, who ran past, skated around and over and through, they looked like the Russian hockey team in 80, the speed, the depth. They had 5 50-point scores on that team. Well, as of tonight, okay, the Boston Bruins, okay, they had going into the game, the Colorado Avalanche had 5 last year, won the cup, and they won it. They beat Tampa Bay, who was going for, I think, a repeat or whatever they were. But the Boston Bruins, as of tonight, have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, not 5, 7 50-point scores. And Jake DeBrusk, who scored a goal tonight, I believe, is just 2 points away from being the 8th. That's how dominant the Boston Bruins have been. They've got 7 50-point scores. That's called depth, ladies and gentlemen. The one thing that has killed that team over the past decade. They've always had frontline talent. They've never had the depth. Well, not anymore. And when I say they have depth, not only do they have 7 50-point scores, potentially 8, but in terms of goals allowed, or goals against average, they have the number 1 and number 3 goalies in the entire NHL. In Linus, don't call me Linus, Ullman, and Mr. Swayman there, my boy Swayman. And they do the ultimate post game when they do that giant bear hug. Okay, I love that they do that, and they do that giant bear hug at the ice after that. So yeah, Jeremy Swayman. So and Linus, what do you call him? Leads the NHL in wins. He's 39-6. He's got a 93.8% save percentage. 93.8, boys and girls. Usually to get that, you got to cheat at something. Okay, so he's been that good. Allmark and Swayman He's got a 92.1% save percentage. In his record, this is the backup. He's 23-6. How many backups in anything are 23-6? Okay, that is how historically dominant the Boston Bruins have been. Tom Izzo is probably sleeping right now, and go back to fucking sleep, because honestly, if you don't appreciate or respect what this team has done to this point, you don't know anything about sports, or you don't appreciate what makes sports great. Because this team was done. Okay, when the season started, no, they were. Most people had them getting in maybe as an 8th seed, and it was going to be Patrice Bergeron's swan song, and that's all well and good, blah, blah, blah. No. They had other ideas. And they know that the job is not done. And this is what I love about the Bruins fans tonight. Well, all these records are being broken. The crowd broke into this chant more than once tonight, and they've been doing it the past week, and the chant was very simple. We want the cup. And this is why I love Boston Bruins fans. We want the cup. Okay, I don't know what the chant would be for the Boston Celtics fans, but I better start hearing something to that effect, not MVP. Nobody gives a fuck about that around here. Okay, there's 17 championship banners up in there for the Celtics. I don't want to hear about MVP when Jason Taylor. I want to hear we want the ring. It don't mean a thing without the ring. How about that chant? It don't mean a thing without the ring. How about that chant, Boston Celtics fans? This is my challenge to you. Okay, but these Bruin fans, they get it. They get it. They understand the last 9 President's Cup trophy winners have not hoisted the Stanley Cup. So the odds are overwhelmingly against the Boston Bruins. And that's just the nature of the sport. That's why the NHL playoffs are second to none. Okay, the one thing that's right there with them is March Madness. That's the one thing that's on par because of the one-and-done scenario, and you saw it again. 20 teams, you saw that final, a 4 and a 5 seed. No one's got to the Final Four, no 2s, no 3s. The March Madness is the one thing, the one tournament that can challenge the NHL on this. So it's 1 and 1A as far as I'm concerned. But the NHL playoffs are always incredible, must-see TV. If you're a sports fan, if you like competition, the NHL playoffs are where it's at. Okay? And the Bruins have an incredible streak they're trying to break. 9 consecutive President's Cup trophy winners have not won the Stanley Cup. President's Trophy winners, rather, have not hoisted the Stanley Cup. So the team with the best record of the season didn't get to the final or lost when they got there. They're fighting history in many ways right now. And I think they know it. Okay? And that's why I give them a better chance, even though that sport is much tougher to win in, and historically it has proven that to be, than the NBA. Usually the NBA team with the most talent wins. That's why the Celtics should win this thing. They're the most talent, they should win it. The Bruins have the most talent. They're not guaranteed to get out of the first round. Anybody that knows hockey knows it. Okay? So that's what makes what they've been doing so incredible. And given it came out of nowhere, because nobody thought this team was this good when the season started. Nope. Nobody. I think the highest I saw them rated was 6th in the conference. 6th in that conference when the season started. I think that was the highest prediction I saw from anyone about the Boston Bruins. They'd finish 6th in the conference. Not this. No. Which makes it all the more remarkable. But from Patrice Bergeron to Pasta to Linus, don't call me Linus, all the way up and down the board, McAvoy, the Marchmont, America, the rat that can't die or won't die. This team is lovable. They are resilient. When they lose a game, they don't lose 2 in a row. If they drop a game, they get right back at it. They don't pull the Celtics. Okay? They don't cry. They just play. This team just plays, and that's what I love about them. And given this is Bergeron's swan song, I would give anything, even more than the Celtics winning the championship, because I love them. But I'd love to see Bergeron get a 2nd Stanley Cup, which would match Bobby Orr, and that's where that would put him. And justifiably so, because he is easily the best two-way forward of this generation with 5 Selke Awards. That's an NHL record, by the way. And he might win a 6th. Who knows? But at 37, again, he's got over 20 goals, over 30 assists. At 37, if that's slowing down, sign me up. So kudos to you, Boston Bruins, for doing everything you have done to this point and giving me something to smile about every time the Boston Celtics fucked up, which was a lot. Okay? And again, it was all self-inflicted, which made it even worse. So, but Boston goes in. The Bruins will go into the playoffs with a head of steam if they're smart, and I believe they are. They will not play any of the regulars in this last game. They've locked everything up. It doesn't matter if they beat Montreal, whoever they're playing in that last game. Get everybody the extra couple days rest, and then get ready to roll. They're going to have home ice throughout this whole thing, and they've proven they can win anywhere against anybody. So I am rooting for the Boston Bruins. America needs to know, okay? Patrice Bergeron is my favorite athlete in Boston since Tom Brady. And I want this for him so bad because he deserves it. If any guy ever deserved it, it's Patrice Bergeron, everything that he's done for this organization for the past 17, 18 years, how long he's been here. There was once upon a time where Michael Felger, who I generally like, but he thought that Krejci was a better player than Bergeron. I remember that day I was driving, and I never laughed so hard in my life because Felger's from Wisconsin. He's a hockey guy. And I'm like, what the fuck are you looking at? And then Krejci's a good player. He is. He's no Patrice Bergeron. Let's get that straight. Okay, he never was. Okay, and if you go back to the Stanley Cup that they won, Patrice Bergeron in Game 7 against Vancouver made one of the greatest goals in Stanley Cup history when he was being dragged down to the ice, and with the back of his stick, he poked the puck past the goalie as he was on the ground sliding by the net in the decisive Game 7 that won the Cup. One of the greatest goals I've ever seen. Okay, and it doesn't get talked about enough, but it should, and I'm sure it's going to be on his highlight reel someday when he retires. But I'm going to miss him when he goes, a lot like I missed Brady when he left, and still miss him. And that shirt will always hang up here, and I hope it's got 2 rings next to it because he deserves it. The best part about this for me is his teammates know it. His teammates know it. This is for him. They're not saying it, but they're acting like it. And I hope to God that he gets it. So the playoffs, I believe, start early next week. There's still 1 game left to go. If you look at the schedule here, I think the last set of regular season games, I believe they've got, this is Tuesday now, on Wednesday, and they've got Friday. Friday's the last. There are 2 games Friday, which will be Buffalo at Columbus and the defending national Stanley Cup champions Colorado at Nashville. And then everything stops until next week. So probably next Wednesday, I think, is when the NHL playoffs will kick off. So best of luck to you, Boston Bruins. We will be pulling for you from down here in Virginia all the way up there in Boston. And they know what's at stake, historically what they're trying to do and what they're up against. And that would be the other thing. They'd be the first team to break this curse. It's like the Madden curse. Like if you win the President's Trophy, you're not winning the Stanley Cup. It's like you've been putting the cover of Madden, you ain't going to the Super Bowl. It's like it's becoming something like that. Somebody needs to put a stop to it, and God damn it, needs to be the Boston Bruins. Why not them? Why not the black and gold? So we'll be praying for them, pulling for them, and we will be talking about them again, whether Mr. Tom likes it or not. Okay? Because whether Mr. Tom likes it or not, I believe there's not one, but 2 New York teams that are going to be in the playoffs. Not that he gives a frog's fat ass. But the Rangers are the 5th seed in the Eastern Conference right now. The Islanders are, looks like they're the 8th seed. They're 1 point ahead of the Penguins for the 8th seed. There's a couple games left. So there's a chance. The Rangers are already in. The Islanders very well could be in. That's Craig's team, my buddy Craig. Miss you, buddy. Hope you're doing well there in Colorado. He's a giant Islanders fan. So they're on the cusp of which means the Bruins will draw them first. Which hopefully I wouldn't want. It's them or the Penguins. Talk about a tough first round. The Islanders, okay, or the Penguins. That's for 8 seeds. Either one of those two. Those two generally aren't in the 8th spot. They're both usually very good franchises, historically very good franchises. And if that's your first round draw, that gives you an indication of how tough this is going to be, because most years those two are 5 or higher. The 2 of them, the Rangers and the Penguins. Right now, the Bruins are looking at one of them in the first round. That's not going to be easy. It won't be. If you guys don't know who Sidney Crosby is, wake up, get the smelling salts, and go look him up. He's a Hall of Famer, okay? And that's the Penguins. So, in any event, it will not be an easy road, but they have home ice. They've got 2 of the top 3 goalies in the league. They've got balance. They've got depth. They've got experience. And they know what they're up against, and their fan base knows it too. So, kudos to the Bruins. Tip my cap to you guys tonight. We're going to end this segment on that. I will see you guys, I think, tomorrow night. With Tom. I think Tom wanted to do tomorrow night. We'll see what the future holds. If not tomorrow night, Thursday night. We will go into the NBA playoffs in depth. The Lakers are playing right now. I'll be watching that tonight, so you will be as well. And we'll see if the Red Sox can avoid getting swept in Tampa Bay. Until then, boys and girls, enjoy your evening. The weather is glorious here. Hopefully it's wherever you are. And we will see you very, very, very soon. And remember, boys and girls, just like Aaron Rodgers in a playoff game, super tight. So tight, so tight. In 3 weeks, 2 weeks, Ferris Bueller, you'd have a diamond. That's Aaron Rodgers. Well, he's not a diamond. He's just the rough. Until then, stay loose.